Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So it's your girl Monique Seca, and today I'll be talking about marriage. Okay, there's this disturbing video that I watched and I'm like, what? Like what? Seriously? What is marriage all about? Isn't marriage supposed to be like some kind of union between two people, okay, where there is respect for each other or for one another? There's mutual understanding, there's communication, okay, there's trust and understanding. Isn't that what marriage should be all about? Why are people so selfish? Okay, so these days, okay, I know what I'm talking like right now. Some people gonna be like, oh, you Americanized, oh, you this, you that. No, it's not all about that. The world is evolving, things are changing every day, okay? It's not like in those days like it used to be, where your daddy has a best friend who has a son, okay? And your parents just decide like, hey, let's put them together. Or your daddy has a best friend who is in love, or should I say, I don't know if it was really love back then in those days, okay? And they're like, hey, this is my best friend and my daughter has to get married to my best friend or to my best friend's son. And maybe at times there's not even any love, but they really did stay together, okay? Our great-grandparents or our parents or whatever, you know, they really did stay together. But I know these days, like, before you want to say I do to somebody, you probably have a little bit of feelings for that person, okay? But when I said this video was disturbing, it really got to my core, and it is so annoying. It is so annoying because how can you claim to love someone so much? How can you claim this is a woman that you eat on the same plate with, you sleep on the same bed with, you do a lot of things together with her? How would you watch a pregnant woman? That's your wife. Who got her pregnant? Did she get herself pregnant? You got her pregnant, okay? Why would you be walking around with your pregnant wife? She got a baby on her back. She got another one that she's dragging around. And she got this load on her head. And you, the husband, walking behind that woman, okay? Walking behind her freely with just a machete on your hand. And watch her go in front like this. Like, really? Really? When I want to talk now, people say, oh, you Americanized, huh? No. Like I said, the world is evolving, okay? When you travel, there are a lot of things that change, okay? And change doesn't come in a bad way, okay? And this is how people look at it back in my country, okay? If see the lady is walking like that, okay? With all this load, and she probably had to go home, okay, and go cook, get water for her husband to bath, fix the plate, the man's plate and everything. Don't she get tired? It's just common understanding. That's a human being too. That woman is a human being. That's somebody's child, okay? If you give birth tomorrow to your daughter, you the man, if you give birth tomorrow to your daughter and you see your daughter going through that, are you going to support that? Really? Are you going to let your own child, like, sit down, you a man, and let your own child go through stuff like that? Is that really marriage, or is that suffering? Maybe that's the new definition of marriage, like slavery, okay? Marriage isn't supposed to be like that. A union between two people, okay? It's not supposed to be like that. There's supposed to be some kind of mutual understanding, okay? It's not going to be like, oh, because you're a woman, you have to do this, okay? Because you're a woman, you have to do this. Or because I'm a man, I have to pop my feet up and watch you bring my plate. Don't get me wrong now, okay? There is nothing wrong with the woman doing your house chores, cook for your man, serve his food and everything. But there has to be some kind of understanding from the man's side, like, hey, come on, I need to help her too in some way, okay? What's the big deal? Oh my God, what's the big deal? Instead of watching her carry all that load, why can't you just carry that load, okay? She's pregnant, man. 9 months. 9 months. It's not like 6 years, 7 years, okay? It's just 9 months. Can you bear with her for that 9 months? I'm talking like this. Somebody probably looking at me like, what is she talking about? If you haven't gone through stuff like that, okay? I'm an African woman, okay? And, you know, that's the mentality that you get, okay? And by the time you try to be like, hey, they're gonna be like, oh, you being disrespectful to her husband. She revolting against her husband. You're supposed to respect your husband. You're supposed to do this, that. Yes, you're supposed to respect your husband. But there's supposed to be some kind of understanding, some kind of mutual understanding between both of you, okay? Just because you're a wife doesn't mean that you're going to fall one day and die because you're a wife. That is so wrong, okay? That is so wrong. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with you doing all this stuff for your man. If you have an understanding man. I've been through that, okay? I've been through that. Where you pregnant, okay? With the mentality that I had of an African woman. You meant before you get married, they put you down and bring back all this long list. You're supposed to do this to your husband. You're supposed to respect your husband. You're supposed to do whatever your husband asks you to do, okay? That's respect. Do whatever he asks you to do. That shows that you're respecting your husband. Which there's nothing wrong with respecting your husband. Before somebody start rolling their eyes and acting crazy, no, there's nothing wrong with you respecting your husband and do what you're supposed to do as a wife, okay? But if you're a pregnant woman, okay, you're in the house with a man, who got you pregnant if not that man? And you have to take your nails and put your nails down on the floor to mop the floor, or let's say to take dirt off the floor, okay? Sweep in, get dirt off the floor, and the man picks his feet up, okay? Sitting right there talking on the phone or be on Facebook, and he picks his feet up. Why you go down? You pregnant woman, go down on your knees. Say you're like 8 months or 9 months or closer to giving birth, okay? And you have to put your knees down on the floor in front of that man with a dustpan to carry that dirt. And that man sits right there and brace his feet up so you can put your knees down. Like, really? Like, seriously? Where is the understanding? Where is the love? Where is the conscience? Where like, I don't understand. I really don't understand, okay? I don't understand. You know how they say, do unto others what you want them to do to you. Put yourself in the place of that woman, okay? If somebody does that to you, how you gonna feel? Like, where your feelings, where your conscience that tells you like, oh, this is wrong, okay? What I'm doing to this woman is wrong. Marriage should be there should be some kind of understanding, respect for one another. If that woman is going to give you respect, show her to some respect. If she's going to give you love, show her to some love, okay? Not that because you're a man, it means that the woman has to do all this stuff while you just sit down there and relax because you're a man. You know, and a lot of women in my country, I'm from Cameroon if you don't know, guys. A lot of women in my country are going through stuff like this, okay? Yeah, there's nothing wrong with being a good wife, okay? But there has to be some kind of understanding from the man's part too. Marriage, there should be some kind of understanding, friendship in marriage, okay? Understanding that, oh, if I do this thing to if this person does this thing to me, it's gonna hurt, okay? Why would I want to do the same thing to this person? Why would I want this person to go through this thing if I understand clearly that if I do the same thing to this person is going to feel, or if this person does the same thing to me, I'm going to feel so much pain. Why would you want to inflict so much pain on this other person? Back in Africa, it is meant to be like, okay, the woman takes care of the house, cooking, cleaning, laundry, whatever, and the kids, okay, while the man goes out to work. Yeah, while the man goes out to work and fend for the family. That's the way it is in Africa, and that's the way it's been. But it's much lighter because you got family members in the house and there's division of labor, okay? But when you travel out of the country where, say for example, you don't have any relative, you're looking up to this man for support, okay? You working, the man is working. And there's no understanding in the house because the man still got this mind frame, this mentality that because you're a woman, you're supposed to do all this stuff. What? Do you want to see that woman fall dead before you understand, like, hey, she needs a helping hand? And I don't know why people always feel like because you're a stay-at-home mom, you really don't do nothing. That's crazy. So guys, to be a good wife, okay, to be a good wife does not imply you become a slave to this person, to this other person, to this man, okay? That's not the definition of being a good wife. Do what you have to do in your relationship or in your marriage. So even if something happens at the end, like I always say, your heart is clean. You live a peaceful life, okay? You move forward so easily like nothing ever happened. because you know deep inside your soul that you did whatever you could do to please this person. You did everything that you could do, everything that's required for a relationship to work. So moving forward, easy and simple, okay? And being a good wife, okay, does not mean that your opinion don't count, okay? Yeah, there's some relationship or marriages where a man feels like, oh, he got the best opinion, his opinions are the best, okay, and yours don't count, okay? Yours goes into the trash and his opinions are the best, okay? So whoever been in a situation, this happens most of the times, okay, that I've seen. And even I had that experience, let me put it that way, okay, where a man tells you about this big idea that he has, okay, and you go ahead like a good wife, okay, that's a good idea. If that's what you want to do, that's a good idea. But no, they don't like that. But just say yes, yeah, good idea, huh, and buy into that. No, but okay, because what? Because I come up with my idea as a man and I give that to you. Just say, yeah, that's a good idea. No, but okay, so he shuts you off. No, but guess what happens at the end? Oh, failed. There is a failure. Why is there a failure? He didn't want to hear that word B-U-T. Why did you have to put that B-U-T? Just agree. Why did you have to put that B-U-T, okay? You didn't need that B-U-T. But he needed to hear that B-U-T, okay? He needed to hear the other side, okay? Like, okay, yeah, that's a good idea, okay? That business is a good idea. But I don't think you should invest all that money into that business, because you don't have an idea about that business. You need to study more about that business before you can invest such amount of money into that business. And he get mad. He get mad. But you were just saying the truth, okay? But that's how most relationships are, or most marriages are, okay? Human opinions most of the time counts. But some people don't want that, especially men who got so much pride in them, okay? They don't want to feel like, oh, she came up with that. Oh, you know what I mean? But truth is truth, okay? Listen. Make sure you listen. Make sure you listen. When a woman tells you something, you listen. I'm not saying that 100% of the time, okay, is the truth. But some women, okay, some women are really smart. When they say B-U-T, listen to the B-U-T, okay? Don't just put it in the garbage, because sometimes it does count. Thank you guys so much for watching my silly moment. I hope you can learn something from my silly moment. And you guys have a nice day. Deuces.